What's going on, guys? It's Jackson Mixed It, and today...
What's up, man? This is Ife Lovv here with you. That was
Ife.
Yeah. Did we talk about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked.
I can't make the transition, though. I'm in too deep.
No. You can't. I can't. I need to make the transition, cause like I'm used to saying
You're too American, dude.
No, I'm not too American. I just say that because I'm just worried that people gonna piss me off. Like I say, hi, my name is Ife. I'm like, oh, Ethan. I'm like, no, I'm not Ethan. Oh, Ife? I'm not Ife. Ife?
Yeah.
I'm not Ife.
Iffy.
Effie? No. Like,
Ife?
and what pisses me off is that it's a short version of the name, but it's 3 letters. Ife, and it's so difficult to say.
Yeah.
So the most the most foolproof version of my name, wrong version of my name is Ife, and it sticks with people.
I like it.
Of course you do.
What's crazy is like the first long while that for a while when I met you, I could not remember. I would know it's Ife, and then I would be like, I'd read it and I'd be like smoke would start coming out of my ears. I'm like, Ife?
Exactly. Exactly.
So confused.
It was actually Ife, which is kind of like the way you say, yeah, that's it. Well, not really.
What?
But it's not. That's not.
I didn't use the notes. The proper. It goes A, G.
Yeah, you gotta sing it, bro.
C and then C sharp.
You gotta sing it as Ife Lovv.
Ife Lovv.
Yeah. You went to your head voice. Like you actually really started singing.
Yeah.
It's just tonal.
This video, guys, is brought to you by. What do you think it's brought to you by? Take a guess. The New Space Podcast.
Why would I call him deer to headlights just now? I knew that, but the way you asked, it sounded like it was a trick question.
It could have been anything. But anyhow, we started a podcast together where we sit right here in different chairs with different microphones, with a different cameraman, and talk about all things music from the perspective of the producer and engineer. It was initially started out like directly towards the artist. Yeah. That's kind of changing.
It is kind of changing. 'Cause
in a good way.
All creatives matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Painters are kind of funky.
Yeah. You seen that guy that hangs upside down from like a swing thing and pours paint on the thing and sells it for like $500,000?
I saw these 2 ladies who like had a cuff on their wrists. Like it was a cuff here, a cuff there, and a bar attaching it. And they both had markers on the wall and they're like pulling each other.
Oh, I've seen that.
And they're like, art. I'm like, I work so hard to be able to make the little bit of music I can, and these people are over here doing this.
That's like dipping my microphone in chocolate milk and being like,
and it sounds art. Bro, how did you get that sound? Yeah, but this is gonna be an interview of the one and only Ife.
Ife.
You should go subscribe to him on YouTube. He's going to start posting a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I will. I'm like a lot of you out there that's like, I don't want to post, worried about what people might think or say. But we're getting out of that. One life to live, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Like, why not just document it too? Like, it'll be cool later in life to just go back and watch some of your videos, show your grandkids.
Yeah, and it's the world we live in now. You know what I mean? I feel like people who don't get with the times.
You miss out on so much in really life, I feel like, if you're not publicly documenting something, a skill, just conversation, your faith. Like, there's so many different things to build off of, and what's crazy about it is there's money in it.
Imagine if we could watch Beethoven, like, go live while he was writing
on TikTok?
Yeah, on TikTok or Twitch or something. While he was writing, the Fifth Symphony, or for release or something.
That would be crazy. I wonder what he'd like.
Guys, I just had this idea. I was dreaming last night, and I had this dream, and I heard da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. I'm trying to figure out where to go from there. What do you guys think about this?
Do you ever make songs in your dreams?
I do. I have.
I've
written entire songs, like lyrics and everything.
Yeah. I've done the same. It's like, I've actually never sat down and made them come true.
Really?
Yeah. It's always amazing. I have. It's always amazing when that happens.
And then there was a time when, I played the piano. I don't know if you're going to ask me that later or not, but there was a time when I was practicing a lot, and I would be playing in my dreams, and it'd be like the craziest, like, either chords or solos or whatever. And I mean, I knew exactly what I was doing. It wasn't just some like random like the things that I was practicing was just fluent and just yeah.
That's crazy.
That's happened a bunch.
Well, they say that I don't know what book I was reading, but there was a group of people who it was like they were all shooting free throws, and they were two completely like just random groups of people. None of them were like fluent at basketball, and one group of them wasn't allowed to practice or do anything, and then the other group was forced to like every day for an hour sit and visualize themselves making free throws. And the group that did that, it wasn't a crazy difference, but they like scored significantly higher.
The visualizers?
Yeah, on the performance side.
You know the Olympics. There's the pole vault guy for the for the U.S. team. I can't remember his name, but they called him Clark Kent. You know why? Because he was literally he couldn't see. He wore like thick glasses, and then whenever he was about to go pole vault, he'll take his glasses off and go crazy. Yeah. So he was like, Clark Kent, take glasses off, same person, but and like they caught him on camera, like doing this, like right before it was his turn, he was doing this, and then doing all the switches and whatever, moving to the next pommel or whatever, and doing a dismount, and they matched it with the actual performance, and it synced up perfectly.
Wow.
Like it was the craziest thing.
That's what's weird is like if you lack, that's what we talked about on the episode with Sahid, is like your weaknesses play into your strengths in a cool way. All right, let's get into the actual topic of the video.
All right.
I'm probably gonna have to cut some of that out.
No.
Anyhow, first off, I gotta say, Ife.
Yeah, man.
You do some crazy work.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
I think your vocal stacks are my favorite I've ever heard.
Really?
I think so.
Hey, I just throw them together. Nah, really, I know. I think I know what I'm doing. But I've learned from like some really cool people.
Well, and like your involvement in church and stuff. Church usually having choirs and stuff. Just being aware of how music fits.
Yeah.
And your musician playing along with it. Like, I don't know.
That's
I feel
true.
Like it all plays together.
Yeah, it does. Because I was showing, was it you or I can't remember. I was showing somebody the way when I'm mixing, or vocal producing, like people are like, I'm like a, ringmaster.
Yeah.
Like that's not the right note. And we're not relying on autotune. We're going to get this note right.
Yeah.
Because I was an MD in church for like 20 years. So, like, I've dealt with all kinds of singers. People who had no business being in the choir. And people that were like, that literally right now are getting Grammy nominated that I've MD'd. You know what I'm saying? So, I've seen all of it, dude. So, it helps to kind of like be able to communicate with different singers, different artists.
Yeah.
I can kind of like meet you where you are.
Yeah.
And then when I'm mixing,
cool.
I group my subgroups are soprano, alto, tenor, or if I have another part or whatever. Yeah. Most people don't do that, but it just helps me stay focused.
I don't do that. That for sure helps.
Yeah.
Why would it not help?
Yeah.
Because like the frequency spectrum of like an octave up is going to be completely different, reacting completely different to everything than vice versa. So like processing wise, what's the secret? Like what are you doing? Do you do much or do you leave them pretty basic?
Bro, I promise you, I try my best to stick with the basics and do the basics well, because plugins are great, they're excellent, but once you start relying on them, it's like playing lottery. It's either going to take it to the next level and go crazy, or you don't even realize you've done a lot of damage to something that was already great.
Yeah.
So...
And I think most of the vocal stacks I've heard that you've done, you were actually like recording the person, which probably plays into a lot of like, the right, like you said, where to go next to ultimately take it to the max with various harmonies and...
Yeah, I probably do my best work on stuff that I've recorded, but that's not sustainable in the sense that, I'm only one person. You know, if I'm going to work on a bunch of stuff, it has to come from other people too. So there's that. But then I've definitely helped people with their recording. I'm like, hey, there's problems here. You know, maybe you might need to look at this or address that to get better recordings. And a lot of times they'll go back and do it again.
Yeah.
You know, and get a better job. Like, and I think I've told you before about one time I made somebody put a blanket over their head because there was nowhere good in the environment. So they took the thickest blanket they could find and put it over their head and did the stacks that way. And I had exactly what I needed to get it done.
Yeah,
So
well, I'd imagine that would work. So, last night we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
You said you were in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Was that what you did right before music full time?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a smooth transition? Were you like able to immediately replace your salary? Was it like rough, risky, scary?
No, it was
What
not.
happened?
It was not smooth. It was not rough, and it's still. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like getting a paycheck from a company every 2 weeks that's consistent, right? In that type of role, you know, is nice because the music industry is kind of different. Like most of the industry, at least with the labels and stuff, they shut down in like December.
Yeah.
And they don't really get going until like February.
Yeah, that's
that's
weird.
And then there's like windows where it's like it just kind of like ebbs and flows. Being consistent, especially when you have a family, you know, it was kind of nice, you know. But there have been ways that you know, by God's grace, I've been able to kind of like adjust and make up for that.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's something that drove me crazy. I hated working. Like, the most bitter feeling ever driving up to an office to pretend like I cared about something so that people would give me money. I wasn't in something that I was purchasing. Like, I couldn't have cared about that. It's physically impossible. I've never been in something like more advanced like cybersecurity. So I don't know how I would react to that. But I mean, it was like I wanted out so bad.
So let me tell you this: in cybersecurity, I wasn't like a cybersecurity subject matter expert.
Yeah.
I worked with, we call them SMEs. I worked with those subject matter experts and as a manager. So I was kind of like not a product manager, but you know, kind of like a project manager program. And I just kind of like looked at the whole project like, hey, this is when we get done. This is what we want to get done. Cool. What's our current state? What's our future state? It kind of like organized everybody, asked the right questions, be inquisitive. The stuff that the big brain people would overlook, not think about, you know, it was my responsibility to fill those gaps.
Yeah.
And like I used to do these gap analysis reports and like, hey, if we don't check this, you know, we might get in trouble, you know, or our budget is getting kind of crazy here, you know, or we need more resources or stuff like that. So it was kind of like the commonsensical side of a very technical world, you know.
Gotcha. So, piggybacking off that a little bit, say you had all your knowledge. Wait, actually, real quick, when you like were working the IT stuff, did you have a bunch of gear? Did you have like what was your like?
No. My first piece of gear I got like over 12 years ago. And I didn't even know what the heck I was doing back then. I was dating my wife at the time, and it was my birthday was coming up, and she loves, like, growing up, you know, she always got like surprises. Everybody surprised everybody with birthday gifts or whatever. Yeah. So she wanted to do that for me. She knows not to do that anymore. Like, let's just talk about it and give you this, whatever. But back then she was still big on it. She just still surprised me. Yeah. But I had in my Sweetwater cart, I had a LA610, UA LA610 channel strip. Yeah. And she saw it in my cart, and she was like, "Oh, he must want this." I didn't know how to use it. I hadn't explored it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, preamp, you know, it looks cool. I might have seen a YouTube video.
Yeah.
And she bought it for me. And I'm like, yeah, I will marry you. Like, you know, that was kind of like what I said. Like, yeah, this is the one for me. She's buying me like music stuff. This is crazy. So, and then when I got that was the bug, because my interface back then was like a Digi 03. Even back then it was already old.
Yeah.
But the audio I was getting lined in from the LA610 was nuts compared to the direct to the interface. Yeah. So that was my first, like, okay, hardware is the truth. Like, this is kind of cool. But then along the way, the tubes went bad, and I did not know. So I started getting really bad audio. So I was like, okay, this thing it's not as good as anymore. So I kind of ignored it. Long story short, fast forward a couple years later, somebody told me about access analog. Yeah. And you can test out hardware remotely. And I've been using the Pultec plugins. And then I tried out they had the warm audio Pultecs. Mm-hmm. And I put it on a guitar sample I will never forget. I was like, I did not know music could sound this crazy. It was mind-blowing. Yeah. I bought my first piece after that. Like what the heck was my first piece? I don't even remember. Was that the Silver Bullet?
Looks like it would be a first piece.
Might have been the Silver Bullet. I got the Silver Bullet, and then it was up from there. Yeah. Yeah, I got the Silver Bullet because it could do a lot of things. Mm-hmm. It was like a back CQ. It's a saturation API style and then Neve style, and it also has 2 preamps for mics. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's nice. Mm-hmm. General improvement across the board. Mm-hmm. That's fire, dude. Fire. So. Yeah. Piggybacking off of that a little bit. Okay. Right. Rewind a little. Let's go back in time. We're hopping in a time machine right now.
All right. Time machine.
Here's $1,000.
88 miles an hour.
Yeah. To put this $1,000 in your pocket.
You didn't get that reference, did you?
No. Put this $1,000 in your pocket.
All right.
We're going back in time, and we're not coming back. Okay. We're going 12 years. Okay. Wait. Kind of. Hopefully you'll understand where I'm going with this. Okay. We're going back in time. All right. You got $1,000.
All right.
You've got all your knowledge. Oh. But you don't have
I see where you go with
any of this.
Okay.
Right? What do you do?
Just $1,000?
$1,000. What do you do?
$1,000.
$1,000. Well, most people, that's the most when just getting into a hobby that they're not familiar with. Come on. That's reasonable. KRKs? Mm-mm. Old MacBook Pro?
Nope.
Scarlett?
Nope. I would take that $1,000 and I would go find the best producer engineer I know, hand it to him and be like, teach me. That's what I would do.
Perfect. Good
That's
answer.
Exactly what I would do. Every dime. And I'd buy him lunch every time I got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Super smart. Cool. Well, that ended quicker than I expected.
No, because, the reason why that was my answer is because the amount of trial and error that I've done, mm-hmm. It's helped me now. And I think is why I feel like we offer a lot of value through the podcast, because every time I say something, it's from a place of pain where like I've done it that way. Don't do it that way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I would rather have watched somebody who was great at it and seen the pain in their eyes and learn from learn from them, and then just be better at it. Yeah. But
that's true.
I think I was just hard-headed back then, just like, okay, I can figure this out. This can't be that hard or whatever. And it's hard.
Yeah, it's a really weird learning curve into this. Mm-hmm. It's really strange because you'll watch all the videos, but like cherry pick what you think matters, mm-hmm. and wonder why nothing else works.
Yeah.
I've got some questions because I need to get better at mixing.
Okay.
What's the game of dynamics versus loudness? Because you have to have dynamics,
question.
and nowadays you have to have loudness.
All right, that's a good question. If you want to get your clients to approve your mixes, get it loud. If you want to be happy about the work that you do and sleep good at night and go back to the stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever platform and listen to it next to the best records in the world and be proud of the work that you do, then it's not going to be about loudness.
Yeah.
And the reason it's not going to be about loudness is because all these streaming platforms are targeted somewhere between -14 and -12 LUFS. So, yeah, I can get a master to get me to like -6, -5 LUFS even. But what does it matter if they're going to turn it down? And I don't care how good of an engineer you are. By the time you get into -5 LUFS, you're going to be seeing some issues with your dynamics, right? It's not going to be dynamic. It's going to be like all the time. Now, should you be aiming for a specific target, this and the other? No. And I say that because you have to consider everything, right? You have to consider the artist. You have to consider the genre.
Yeah.
You have to consider probably even what most people are going to consume this content on.
Yeah.
Right? I did this one record, remember the one that goes, handsome.
Oh yeah.
That one is a TikTok record.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be a hit on TikTok, right? I thought about that, and I'm like, okay, this has to sound really good on phones, point blank, period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People only listen on Spotify, Apple Music, so it's a little bit of all those things being considered, while you're working. So some songs, and just based on the producer and how they laid out the record and what they care about. Some people want the kick to hit. Some people want the bass to be big and hug you and all that.
Yeah.
If they want the bass to be big and hug you, then you know that you're gonna treat loudness a different way than if they want the kick to hit with the snare and the vocals. So it just all depends, right?
Yeah.
Not every song should hit the same because not every song is the same. Sometimes the key of a song can affect how loud you can get, depending on the arrangement of the music.
Yeah.
We're talking about like a significant amount, up to like half a LUF or a LUF.
Yeah.
Just based on
that's
all that.
something interesting. You talk about arrangement. A lot of people say that can like really affect how loud your track like perceived loudness.
Yeah.
Do you automate your masters?
Like the chorus,
we'll drop the ceiling
half a
down.
dB up.
Yeah, exactly. You do?
Yeah. Not automatically on every single song, because some people arrange their record so well that by the time it gets to the chorus, it's going to be a dB louder because there's more going on.
Yeah, they properly pulled things out.
Yeah.
Put things in at the right
if
time.
they do that, I'm not going to just automatically just blindly be like, all right, just boom, shelf, no.
So do you automate EQ in your masters, like with a slight shelf on the high end and then on the chorus let it fly up?
No, I'm not automating EQ on a master because that's a mix issue. If I feel, because mastering is a bunch of small moves, right? When I first started like really mastering, I was doing like 5, 6, 7 dBs moves on EQ and compressors. Like, yeah, we just got to get this thing right. But then what I was really doing was I was trying to mix a 2-track.
Yeah,
that's mixing a 2-track. When you get to mastering, you're dealing with the entire song. So every move you make has to be in relation to everything going on in the song. If you're listening to a 2-track to master it, like a WAV file to master it, and like, oh, I want to get this guitar louder here, so you're bringing up that frequency on every single thing.
Yeah.
And when you're mastering, it's multiple folds. There's math behind it or whatever, but
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. And ultimately, your job is like you're positioning the lights on like a picture.
Yeah.
Putting the right frame on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but so are you putting things on your mix bus before you go into mastering?
If I mix the record,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
What's going on your mix bus?
Oh, what's going on my mix bus? I tell you right now, you're looking at my mix bus right here. So, the first thing that I hit it with is some tape, some Neve 542 tape.
What are you getting there?
I'm getting some harshness control, because I'm doing a lot of like modern style music, and usually like a lot of these samples, a lot of stuff is like really like harsh, but not even harsh like, oh, it's harsh. You know, it just sounds very clinical and sterile. You know, it just gives it a vibe. You know, the way that it controls the top end, and then I also get a nice low end smootherness. It's a smothering. There's a nice smothering with a tight focus on the low end that happens. It doesn't work every single time. I'll say 75% of the time. Just depends on the song. Sometimes I'll just disengage and like, oh, okay, that's better, and I keep it moving. But 75 to 80% of the time, it's magic. I love it. So the 542 tape, and then from the 542 tapes, I go into the color box, which is the API, the silver bullet.
Yeah.
The silver bullet is giving me API and Neve saturation, and just a little bit from both. And I'm usually, the silver bullet is dope because you can go from the API module into the Neve module, or from the Neve module to the API module with a switch of a button. Or you can pick just API or just Neve.
Which one's your favorite?
Depends on the song. So APIs have a faster slew, or I think is what the word is, and Neve is slower. So basically, the electronics hit the full saturation faster on API. That's why people say API is more punchy. Neve does it slower. So that's
I
where
just watched a video that he was saying Neve has a rap of being slow.
Yeah.
Slow units.
Yeah, it's slow.
Yeah.
But we're talking like speed of light type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is the speed of light, and then if this is API, this is Neve. This is like it's very little, but
yeah, and we're all like, I heard that.
Yeah.
That sounded too fast.
No, what we're hearing is tone.
We're feeling it. Yeah, we can't, like, that's the thing is a lot of times I feel good about this.
Yeah.
It makes no sense according to everything I've learned, but it feels right.
So like when I'm doing like mixing like Afrobeat with like percussion is like like stuff like that. It's very fast transients. Like I'm going to EQ with API.
Yeah.
And push API more. But on the vocals, Afrobeat vocals are very R&B-ish.
Yeah.
Very smooth, very melodious. So with that, I'm leaning towards Neve because it's warmer, more chill.
Yeah. So on your like main what are you doing the most compression with? Which compressor are you doing the most compression with when you're doing those smooth R&B style vocals? Like, obviously, you're using
I'm in the
multiple.
I'm in the box, and I'm using UAD's very mute compressor for that.
Ooh.
Oof, I love it.
What's your attack and release time look like?
Medium. It's sweepable, so it just depends on the vocal and really the tempo, right?
So like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like pop we're hearing now, where like vocal is like,
oh no,
and 1 being like some like old Tupac stuff.
Let me tell you something right now. Most of the time, I want the vocals in your face. Again, how are people consuming music? Phones, headphones. You know, like when you put the headphones on, like I want it to sound like the artist is there with you. I don't want you to feel like you're listening to a recording of an artist, right? So the way you compress kind of like deals with that a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by in your face.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How many compressors, like on an average, like how many compressors are you usually using on a vocal?
It depends. If I track, then I'm not doing a lot of compression in the boxes. They'll go through the CL1B, and then it's already compressed going in. By the time I get in, I'm probably using 3 compressors total.
Mm-hmm.
2 on the individual track and 1 on the vocal bus.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Like a parallel?
No.
On the vocal bus, like top-down mixing, like on
Yeah.
all the vocals as a group?
The group, yeah.
Right. Okay.
And then for the vocal bus, I'm doing the compression on the vocal bus after I get a good feel on the actual tracks, right? And it just depends. I remember I went through a period where I was using 3 LA2As.
Whoa.
I would use the silver, the gray, and the LA2 in series, and it gave me a beautiful sound.
Really?
And each one of them are like a total of maybe 3 dBs to 4 dBs total off of 3 compressors, but they're giving me the tone, right? And the control is crazy because LA2As are super fast at the beginning, and then once it goes past a certain point, it gets really slow.
Yeah.
So I'm going after the fast stuff, and then on the mix bus, on the vocal bus, I'm doing like a very clean type of like a fat filter compressor, just to kind of like clamp things down, especially if I don't want things to get overly dynamic. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So say I came to you and I'm like, hey bro, your vocals are too compressed. Is there there's no way to say that to somebody, especially somebody who obviously knows what they're doing and it's a flavor thing? What determines a mix is good? So we'll say this, I'd say you're wrong when it hurts to listen to, right? And when you're having a hard time understanding, you're having a hard time distinguishing elements. I'd say that's like a general, you kind of did it wrong.
Right.
But after that,
objectively, right? Yeah.
Right. But after that, what determines a good mix? Are we judging it based on the fact we think that more potential was left on the table in the song?
I think what makes a good mix is when you feel like you're not hearing the mix, you're hearing the song. Right?
Yeah, you're hearing a thing that didn't exist before.
Yeah, if you're hearing a song, if you listen to a song, one of my favorite records to listen to when I first get in the studio is Bruno Mars' 24 Karat.
Yeah.
Tonight, that song, whatever.
Yeah.
So when that song comes on, to me it's like, dang, was this song even mixed? It just sounds good. It just sounds like I was there.
Yeah.
To me, that's the epitome of an amazing mix, where it just feels like it's just what it was supposed to be. When I start hearing that, oh, somebody mixed this, that's when it starts. My confidence or my whatever in it starts to wane a little bit. But then, that's kind of like how I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though. It's like we're baking the cake. Like the artist gives you, here's the type of egg I'm using, here's the type of sugar I'm using, here's the type of flour I'm using. Like, all right. Ife, put the oven on 425, we're going in hot.
Okay.
And then mastering, right?
Is what part?
The cake's spinning.
The icing. Right. Remember what we were talking about earlier? How, you try to do a whole bunch of stuff on the 2-track? That's like trying to put more eggs when you're supposed to be putting icing.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. You're trying to put more eggs in the batter and the cake's already baked.
No, it's already baked.
Yeah, that's perfect way to put it. So, don't expect your mix to become good because of mastering.
No.
The best master is going to happen because of the best mix.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are outliers. I've heard really not so great mixes being saved by mastering engineers who went in and literally did magic.
Yeah.
But even that's hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? I happen to, I won't consider them friends, but 2 mastering engineers who are some of the top in the country. And they have literally Grammys just lined up in their studios, and they can do that, but it's hit or miss. A lot of times they're sending emails, their assistants are sending emails back to the client hey, get your mix engineer to go fix this because this ain't it kind of stuff. Yeah.
What do you think about mastering engineers who request the stems? A lot of people say you're completely stepped out of the mastering point?
It depends on their workflow. If they want that, people. There are two types of engineers in the industry, I think. I think there are those who are proficient and they're good at it and they want to do it and they, to make a living and, whatever, and they get satisfaction from it. And then there are a few people who are they're born to mix, right? Matter of fact, give him a cot to sleep on and some food, some canned green beans and whatever. And they'll be good. They will sit there and they'll. I got a buddy who he'll finish mixing a song like, nah, that ain't it. Wipe everything clean and start again.
Really?
Yeah. And do it at the third time.
Yeah.
Some people are like that. I feel like people who are stem mastering, they want more control. They don't want to mix because they like the process of mastering, but they really want to dial it in. Sometimes it could be good things, sometimes it could be bad.
Yeah, I could see it going either way.
But now people are asking for stems because of Atmos.
Like they're taking a stereo mix and just flipping it into Atmos?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're asking, no, not stereo mix, but they're taking the stems and they're I feel like more mastering engineers are becoming Atmos engineers versus mix engineers becoming Atmos engineers. Because it's more of a post after mixing kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm really curious what an Atmos master would look like. How different it would be.
An Atmos master isn't essentially because you have to I think it's negative 18 loves. That's it. You can't go past negative 18 loves. Yeah.
Well, that ain't too bad.
Over 18 loves it gets rejected. It's because it's highly regulated or whatever. But man, if I'm saying nonsense, y'all please forgive me. But I think this is kind of right. But you need to, you get those mixed stems, and then you're basically treating them as objects and put them in different places. Panning is the most tedious and most skill, requiring element in Atmos.
We're gonna do a video of Ife's Atmos install coming soon, guys.
I claim that. I claim it and I manifest it. Because I would love to do that.
Voila! Let's light a candle right here. Is it a full moon out?
I'm not into that type of stuff, bro.
Me neither. Me neither. All right. How important is a wide mix to you? How important is width and loudness perception? How important is it to not get too wide to where there's like... Can't you create like phase issues if you're too wide?
Yeah,
like
you
correlation?
I don't know where this whole width thing came from. Like,
how are you getting the desired width that you like?
Width is relative, right?
Yeah.
If I put everything in the middle and all of a sudden in the chorus I put things only 25, you're gonna feel that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but if everything is here the entire song, then it's gonna feel monotonous.
It's gonna feel like two mono speakers playing at the sides of your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So which is the reason why I really love playing with background vocals, because they don't happen all the time, so I can really use them to spark interest with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if everything's wide, nothing's wide. If everything's loud, nothing's loud.
Exactly. It's the same thing.
If everything's pink, nothing's red.
Huh?
No, I don't know.
Please put a question mark over my head right here. Yeah. All right, what else you got? What you got?
What's your go-to, like you don't do any width in your mastering?
I do. I'm lucky enough to have this beautiful device right here. This is a Neve MVP.
There we go.
And that's where I get all my width from. I don't do it with plugins. For two reasons. Number one, it keeps me disciplined. And the width section on this thing is really, 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 really realistic. And it keeps my mono fold intact, like really, really well. And I trust it. And I can go wideband and just basically, make the whole thing wide. Or it's basically an EQ, and I can pick what on the side I'm going to make wider.
Yeah.
And it's detented, so I can be very precise with how much width I'm giving it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. I need one of those.
Yeah, like 4,500, 5,000, something like that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I want the SPL Big.
SPL Big's good. Yeah, SPL is crazy.
I think they have the coolest looking logo. You know that matters a lot to me, right?
Yeah. So if you're an engineer out there or an artist and you buying a piece of equipment because of the logo, just quit. Just quit music altogether, okay? Make sure, please, like, yeah.
I've
Don't
never
get because of the logo, please. Don't do that.
I've never done that. It just absolutely. It's a big. I think gear is the coolest looking thing, apart from a Lamborghini that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
So I really, really appreciate when a piece of gear I'm after has a great reputation, and it looks awesome.
This Two Tech is the most. This is the most beautiful blue I've ever seen in my life. I love it. You're right. The UA Apollos.
Oh, they're
so beautiful.
They're so hot.
It's like the API, they all look great. The one unit that I have, and you know where I'm going with this. The one unit I have sounds beautiful, amazing, but it's just the most ugly piece of gear that has ever existed. Is the Bills Loudon Liftoff Silver Bullet. It is so ugly. Oh my god!
It looks like you got it at Toys R Us.
I know. It looks like a Temu. It saves itself because it sounds amazing. The backseat key on it is nasty.
Let's start doing some. Let's start buying things off Temu,
I'm down.
And trying to make like good records with them.
Oof.
Let's get an audio interface,
a microphone,
and some cheap monitors, and we got to do everything on there.
Monitors though?
Yeah.
I can use my PMCs. No.
And we're gonna do it in Audacity with all free plugins. And we're gonna make it fire. Video coming soon. This video is brought to you by the Temu Sound Studio.
No, it's really brought to you by New Space. Forget Temu. They already got enough money.
Actually, go subscribe to our podcast. We're trying to grow it, and it's actually we're never gonna stop. So just go get in while it's soon. And we're doing like free mix giveaways.
Every episode is attached with a free mix giveaway.
Yeah. Technically, we haven't gotten too deep into it, but if you're seeing this here, you're absolutely welcome
and
go
also
submit yourself in there.
We're also going to do very soon. We're going to do an interface giveaway. We're going to do speaker giveaway. Speakers, all right? These are speakers that we will use that are like really, really awesome speakers. The interface as well. So please subscribe. Yes.
Yeah, go do that. And all you have to do to win is be subscribed.
And bring all your friends.
And bring on. That's not. You don't have to, but that'd be appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Could you master to the same level of quality that you do in the box?
Same level of quality, yes. I can master in the box the same level of quality. But what does quality mean to you? Like, does it get the job done? Or
no, quality means it's like
the same level of magic,
satisfaction. Quality satisfaction.
For me personally, no. Can it be done? Yes.
Yeah.
Can it be done? Yes.
Yeah, you can.
Even if I deliver a master that brings tears to the client's eyes, and they're so happy. Like, to me, I'm like, dang it! Only if I had that piece and that piece or whatever, and that's where I really believe that creatives like that, just make the world a better place. Like, for instance, I don't want a doctor that's just super smart, right? Mm-hmm. That was really good in chemistry and biology, and then, now they're a doctor. I want the one that used to give their dolls CPR when they were little, and when their friends were sick, like wondering, I wonder if that's a virus or bacteria infection. Like those kind of people, that's who I want being my doctor.
The people that care about that specific solution.
They're passionate about what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
Like the guy, John Ives, that used to be at Apple, that built the first, the old Macs all-in-ones, the first all-in-ones, and he built the first iPhone, first iPad or whatever. Go back and watch his story. Check him out. Like, he was so passionate about industrial design and just design in general. He breathed it, like he lived it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and that's one of the reasons why I love Apple so much. You know, even though some of my friends that know me, I used to be a Samsung fanboy, so oh yeah, I know, I know. But John Ives really, really inspired me. Like him and his partnership with, and his friendship too, with Steve Jobs. Man, like engineers like that, or producers like that, or artists like that. Man, they are the ones who are keeping this industry going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your reverb is really good.
Bro.
All right, I gotta say.
I don't know if you need caffeine or food. Definitely not caffeine. What?
I might grab a Coke Zero at lunch. It smells pretty good. Your reverb is fire, dude. What go-to reverbs are you using? How's that interacting with your delays? What's it look like on that?
Bro, believe it or not, my favorite reverb, like go-to, I know it won't fail me, is a $169 reverb. Is it $69 or $169? It's either $169 or $69. Liquid Sonics. Liquid Sonics, yeah. It's the
Seventh Heaven one?
Seventh Heaven.
Really?
Yes.
I gotta get it.
If I just want like a little bit of room and just like clean and clear, it doesn't add any tonal whatever to it, that thing is great. Every time I go back to a mix and that's what I used, I'm like, yeah, this what the heck would I use anything else?
Yeah.
But then sometimes it can be underwhelming, you know, depending on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reverb translation used to be one of my biggest
issues.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Now it's exactly what I hear on my speakers.
Yeah.
It sounds even better on worse speakers because it's almost fluffier and you can like pinpoint it less.
So what about you? What do you use?
I like the LX480 by Reloud.
Right. I
also really like Superplate.
Superplate.
It's a very specific. It's really thick, so I'm careful with it.
Superplate's thick. Yeah.
Yeah, but then on my delays, I always send my delay to my reverb, and
the same reverb that you already have going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you use the reverb as a send, but then the delays also go into that reverb.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just usually do a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for my delays,
why?
Fat Filter Pro, I don't know. In the back of my mind, like, you know, some kind of feedback. Or I just want a different color for it, so there's more separation.
Yeah.
Fat Filter Pro R's reverb is super clean.
It is.
So I'll use that for the delays because the delays already have texture and a color to it. So like I like Echo Boy. So Echo Boy has a nice texture to it. You can even add saturation, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
By the time I'm done with that, I don't want extra color on it.
Yeah.
So I'm just using Fat Filter Pro R to really like open things up.
Yeah, my go-to delay is Timeless. Timeless 3.
Yeah, I had Timeless for a while.
I can't figure it all the way out. Like I don't have the time to sit down and really get
that thing is it's one of those things. Timeless is Fat Filter plugins are like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Infinite learning holes.
No, you can get up and go right on any one of them.
But then at the same time,
no, what does that do? You're going to be there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you can study Timeless for probably the next 5 years.
For real.
And just be amazed at all the little hacks.
Which one is it? Is it their saturation Saturn?
Yeah.
Man, you could take wires and connect it. Like, it looks, Reason, Reason the dog. Yeah. You know, got the you know, stuff like that.
I love Saturn's genius. Like, you can change the different types of saturation on the different bands.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that little dynamics knob on it? Where it's like, you can change between like tight or like spaced out. And the saturation is moving quicker, like we kind of talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in and out of the way faster.
Yeah. That's
a really cool feature.
Yeah, it is. But believe it or not, when it comes to like multi-band saturation, I was on 11, bro. Really? Yeah, and Spectre.
I really don't do much multi-band.
Like Waves Factory?
I always use multi-band saturation when mastering. I really don't use it often on various mixes. I use a lot of Magma BB tubes by Waves. I really, really like that plugin.
Yeah, I don't have that one. I'm done with waves, bro.
You are?
Yeah. I still use them, but I'm not buying anymore.
All I use from Waves is I like their 1176 better than I like Universal Audio's.
Heck no.
I actually do for some reason.
No.
I do.
I mean, that's cool.
I'm just telling you, I like exact settings side by side for some reason. I just feel
why do I care about exact settings? I'm going to dial it in the way I wanted to dial it in. But one thing I know, I can push that 11 the UAD way harder before it starts to crumble on me.
Really?
And then I love the headroom knob on it.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I want to go back and gain stage real quick, and I just it's just just clapping back too much, I just turn the head the headroom knob a little bit, and I'm only getting like the 2-3 dBs that I want sometimes. It just depends, while still keeping all the tone.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll change my mind. I like that from Waves. It's still a good plugin.
We already talked about this, and we should do this. We should mix the record side by side, kind of like this, but flip the cameras the other way around, and we'll argue through the whole mix. Like, let's do this. We're like, no, let's do it this way.
That actually would be fun.
Punch you in the face.
That'd actually be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Careful, I might take you through a back day if you punch me in the face.
Oh man, nah. Today was terrible.
He literally, we're deadlifting. He just goes, I'm done. I'm not having fun right now. I was like, we're not here to go like tickle each other's toes.
Yeah, I wasn't having fun, bro.
But then we start laughing about it, and you're like, oh, I am having fun.
Yeah. That was after the endorphins started, getting released.
Yeah. But I use that. I use the 1176 by Waves. I use their doubler. I really like their doubler.
Mm-hmm.
I really like their de-esser.
Yeah.
Bro. I really like their sibilance plugin.
Okay.
That's actually really, really good. And I really like... What else is down that list? I see you using RVox all the time.
I love I was about to say, I just want you to finish. RVox is God mode.
Remember when we tried switching it out with RX?
Yeah.
Or something? Do you not do that anymore?
I do. It just depends on the record. So if the vocal is very tinny, like female or like very whatever, I'll use RVox. If it's mid-range heavy or low, then I'll use Axe.
Fire. Yeah. Super sick. What else is in Waves? I can't stand... Like, I tried the Sheps Omni channel.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that plugin, dude.
Man, people swear by it, dude.
I hate it.
Why?
Like, I did not like... Of course,
the sound or the workflow?
The sound. Yeah. I did, like, minimal things with it, and it's pretty cool. Like, I can insert Pro Q3 and move it in between the compression and the EQ in the plugin. That's pretty cool.
I know you can do that.
It's not a bad idea for beginners too, because if you load a preset and then you click like view or emphasize or help or something, it'll turn the important knobs of that preset blue and tell you those are the ones to slowly change and adjust, and it'll switch it around for each one. It's a great idea. I don't hate it. I just did not enjoy my time with it and abandoned it.
I'm just very weary of plugins designed or curated by people that do genres very different than I do.
Yeah,
I can mix any genre, but I have predominant genres, right? So like CLA. I like Manny Miracle and stuff actually, but Andrew Sheps, he does a lot of stuff that's like heavy. He's big on like parallel compression and that type of stuff. I'm not big on parallel compression.
Yeah, I saw him doing something absolutely insane. I completely forgot what
Paralleling
it was.
like the entire mix bus or something like that.
Paralleling a ton of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what he was doing. I like parallel compressing for hip hop. I'm not big on it for like super singy records.
It just depends on how dense the record is. Sometimes you're gonna go ahead and parallel compress, but yeah.
Yeah. I like using parallel compression methods to like say if it's a bad recording, like really compress it and then EQ out, like just leave what is the best in there
Mm-hmm.
And then like double down on it by sending it back in. Sometimes it helps me.
Okay.
There's never a complete fix around that though. I'll do two more very simple closer questions.
All right.
What's been the most challenging mix you've ever faced in your entire career?
The most challenging mix I've ever faced.
You don't have to name drop. You can just give examples.
No. Was on a mix that I did for free.
Ooh. And they didn't like it? Or you
Not
just
that
had a
they didn't
hard
like it.
time?
Not that they didn't like it, but because they knew it was free, we got to revision maybe 15 or 16. And the whole process made me not want to mix for like a month.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything that I was doing. Like, I mixed the record. After the first pass, like, oh my God, it's so inspiring, it's great, love it. You know what? I want to change some things and whatever. It's not going to affect anything. Well, it lies because it affected everything.
Mm-hmm.
The kick was different, snare was different, vocal, different vocal passes. Basically, 80% of it got changed. So I had to mix the whole thing again. After mixing it again, I kind of like went off of references with like, the kind of balance that they wanted. And then changed it to a different type or whatever. Brought like the featured artist, came in and started adding their 2 cents. They started kind of like disagreeing over how it should go and how it should sound. And I think I just felt very disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
Like my time, my effort, my energy, and none of them were seeing me. They were just like worried about their thing. And, I don't want to get into why I was doing it for free, but I think they just kind of like took it to head and like, okay, he's doing it for free, so okay. How do you want it? They just wanted to go ham. It's like when people go to like a buffet
mm-hmm.
and just want to eat everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the owners look at them like, come on, stop. Like you're full. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like how I felt. It was just, so it wasn't a technical thing. Because whenever I reach technical issues or technical problems, I love problem solving when I'm mixing. So that's not it just might take a little longer, but I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the easy problem or the easy solution is, hey, go back and re-record those vocals because these are not it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's me mixing. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Well, they call those people bottom feeders. The people who pay the least and expect the most.
Well, there you go.
And that's what it typically is. There's like a weird balance of like price to appreciation too.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the people who pay more are going to trust you more.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. It's a really weird thing.
That's been my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah.
It makes no sense until it makes sense.
Yeah, I've literally had like one of my favorite clients. The only thing that we had to do, like, I forgot. I'm so sorry. Apologize profusely. I forgot to send you the producer's tag. Here you go. Just add it in there, please. No problem. I got you.
Mm-hmm. Right, and when they're like
done.
really grateful.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like last night, it's 1 a.m. I'm sitting there on the toilet just chilling. Client texting me, hey, I'm sorry I'm being so picky about this, dude. Like, but all his changes were reasonable. I'd listen to him like, oh yeah, that actually makes sense for the song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, I got you. I actually went, because I packed up for today. I pulled my computer out of my backpack. I'm like, I'm going to get him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hook everything back up, reload everything, recall it on the gear.
Yeah,
and then get it done for him. But it's like, and he's a good paying client, so it's like, I don't know. It's not out of him just needing to change things just to.
No, this one was, and I just like I said, corrections happen. Revisions happen. It's just that disrespect. I just be respectful, man. Be nice, and all respect means is being seen and recognized. Hey, I acknowledge that you're who you are and that you're right here in front of me or right over there, and I'll be considerate of your time and your feelings, and that's
and if
it.
you want to this is a major hack. If you have an engineer, if you want to get your engineer's best work, hype them up. make them excited about the song, about the work they've already done. So instead of just immediately responding with what you hate about it,
firsthand, it works.
Just acknowledge what you like about it and reassure the engineer.
Yeah, we're just some egotistical pricks anyway. Yeah, it works.
We're just kids. We're kids obsessed with toys.
Dude, man, you smashed on that song. I can't even get it out of my head. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, say less. When we get you something, we're like, all right, let's go. Gonna mix the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a major hack. If you want to get the most out of your engineer, we're humans. Mm-hmm. It's like, I wish I was just a computer making infinite money just in and out. But that's what we need, validation. Mm-hmm. And it's hard whenever somebody just wants revisions. You get the revisions done, and that's all you hear about it. Mm-hmm. Then you're left wondering, did they just like fix it to the best they could to where it's semi-acceptable? Did they not like it? You know, that's not fun to be left wondering. So, little trick for you. Yeah. Get more of your money's worth.
By the way, if you didn't know, I'm a dope producer too. And one of my favorite people that I look up to in this space, not a lot of people know him. He produced 2 of Frank Ocean's albums. His name is Malejo. Mm-hmm. Dope guitar player, dope producer, but just as dope an engineer as well. And I'm like, it was a couple years ago, like, if this dude can do it, I can do it too. You know, and I become the best engineer I can be, and producer, you know, and I still play out and do gigs every now and then just for.
We'll do another one of these about production.
That'd be dope.
That'd be good. So keep your eye out for that. This video is brought to you by our future video about production.
Yes.
Okay. Really? Last thing, closing out here. What are some of your recent favorite projects you've worked on? What have you been a part of that's big? What have you been a part of that's cool? What have you been a part of that's been gone underrated by the public?
Okay. One is I'll say Jet the Third. Okay. It got what's his name? Timbaland featured it on his Beat Club thing, and he shouted out especially the mixing on that one. It was like, yo, who mixed this? Like, it's a production, it's a music thing, but like, man, the mix is crazy. Like, he said something about that was pretty cool. Someone I'm working right now that's really dope. His name is Manny Wells, and he's dropping some really fire records. MANNYWELLZ. Anything over the last 6 months I've worked on with him.
Yeah, his stuff sounds like he could go big. Yeah. He's already big. Yeah. But like, it sounds like his stuff's on the brink of like going huge.
Yeah. So there's those. I'll say those 2.
Is that what reverbs are you mostly using on him? Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven for like a light room, and then believe it or not, for his throws, like just every now and then, ROM.
What is that?
ROM is a reverb by Isotope. It's angelic.
Ooh, I had Isotope's Neoverb. Paid $250 for it.
Neoverb is trash.
Like, I want that money back so bad. Can I please just move that money over to
I didn't like
Ozone
Neoverb
or something?
Some people like it, but I didn't like it at all. So Neoverb, ROM, yes.
Also, if you're a company that has plugins or something, we'll be completely honest. We would love to review some plugins.
Absolutely.
But
yeah, we're down.
Yeah, that's essentially it. Mm-hmm. I appreciate it, my man.
No, I appreciate you, man.
Check out the podcast.
Yes.
And
New Space Podcast. NIW space, one word. NIW space. New Space.
That's it.
Yeah.